Parrsboro United Baptist Church, and are glad that you are here to worship with us. Calling upon the living God to be a big blessing to you as we share in this aspect of our worship. I've heard many an elderly person just stretch and say, ah, you know what that means. As a lady amongst us said, it's a pain to get old. My mother would say, son, something begins in my leg and begins to move up and just goes on. I don't know what it is. And many of us can have those expressions. I just don't know why my body can't make me feel comfortable. Is it nice to suffer? I don't think so. But I read on a certain shelf, I don't know what the book is all about, but the title of the book is The Sweet Side of Suffering. Sweet side of suffering? Well, maybe they're like the clergyman in our north, who when he suffers says, it's nice to be ill. I don't know about you. I fall ill, but I don't like it. If I can avoid it, I will. Suffering is never nice. We're not created to suffer. It's a consequence of wrongdoing, sadly. But it's the truth. We suffer. But is this our lot? Distress, disturbance, disgruntlement, and then death. Not if we listen to Peter and listen to him well, especially as he's writing to a people who are very deeply troubled. And by and large, he's saying to them, examine yourself and see what your suffering is all about. And so if we heed his hard advice, we will also go out of this place actually being successful in our suffering. I don't know what that means along with you. But before our time together is done, I suppose we'll be arriving at what it means to suffer successfully. But the first piece of advice Peter gives in the text we have read is for us to see that suffering is real. There's no need to pretend. He says harm, suffer, slander, shame. None of these words is pleasant. If you shame me, I feel bad. If you hurt me, I feel bad. If I suffer, I feel the pain. None of those is pleasant. So suffering is real. It comes in all forms of shapes. Words can make us suffer. Injuries can make us suffer. Illnesses make us suffer. Emotions can come to hit upon us to the point which we're unstable. So suffering has various modes. But it's real. There's no need of pretending that it does not exist. It is there. What I should do is ask myself, the question, how am I suffering? Let me identify that. Where is this weight that is weighing heavily upon me and crushing me? Is it in my relationship with my family members or my friends or the community at large? Is it in my personal emotions? Is it a terminal illness? Is it emotional instability? Is it an experience with my own children? Where is the source of the pain? If I can identify how real my suffering is, then I may go to the next stage, the reason. If you suffer, suffer for righteousness' sake and not for wrongdoing. So I may suffer because of the wrong that I have done. I don't expect to steal and go unpunished for it. As one man would say, thieves are very clever before they are caught. They are only stupid when they are caught. So the cleverness disappears when we do wrong secretly, and then the secret is exposed, because then we must face the consequences. And so we know that in certain instances, we deserve the pain because we did something wrong, like a thief at the cross. When he sees Jesus there, he says, I deserve to die. I don't know about this fellow. And he says to the other fellow, he says, yeah, you too deserve to die because of what we have done. But at the same time, he does also unveil to us, it is possible to suffer even when you're not doing anything wrong at all. Because it says, this man has done nothing amiss, and yet he is transfixed to the cross. He suffers because he calls himself God's son. He suffers because he says the way to heaven. He suffers because he's pointing people up from the earth, off and upward to God. He suffers. He suffers because he's healing people and taking away the illnesses. He suffers because he's raising the dead. We can do nothing about these things. This man is showing everyone that he has excellence of power, superb and equal only to God. Nothing wrong. But for those that envy him, it was a reason to make him suffer. And as you examine yourself, what do you ascribe your suffering to? What did you do wrong? And have you confessed it? Or can you say, I can't face what I know to be wrong, and yet look at what I'm going through. Jesus is a typical example of suffering for no wrong. Peter also did because of his faith. There's nothing wrong. His only problem was his faith. Paul the same. What about the man Job? God himself says about Job, no man on earth is as righteous as Job. He prayed not just for himself, even for his children, even confessing their sins on their behalf. So he confessed all, but he suffered. When we pause and ask ourselves the question, why do I deserve this? Let's just go back. If God's Son could suffer, why shouldn't we? But the question is, let each one of us pause and ask, what is the cause of this real pain? If we can find reason, then we can go on to the next thought. Rejoice, for it is good, if it be the will of God, that you suffer. What? God can will that I suffer? Yes, He can. More often than not, when pain comes our way, people say, the devil is pushing me too much. Look at how much pain. But David is told by God, you've done something, and I'm going to give you 3 options. Run before your enemies, face illnesses, or I myself afflict you. God himself saying that. Who says God can bring pain our way? So each time we are in pain, disturbance, suffering, name it, let's look at it in 2 ways. As somebody has said, either God has sent it, or God has allowed it. It makes no difference. The question is, this illness, this pain, this suffering, this disturbance, does it make me realize how serious I should be in my commitment to God? Or does it so dampen my spirit that I begin to say, if God, this is the way you allow me to live, then I will give you up. I want you to show yourself God in my life by how much you bless me, not by how much you hurt me. If that be the case, Jesus is the worst of sufferers, because he who committed no sin yet died like a criminal. But notice what we read in Hebrews. For the joy that was set before him. Here is the sweet side of suffering. If suffering brings me to God, then it's an angel sent from God to deter me from me and to bring me to God. If it stirs in me a trust in the living God that reveals my personal weakness and makes me have a leaning on the strength of the living God, then it's a blessing. Anything that pulls me out of me and out of trust of all men and just makes me lean on the living God, that's the blessing. Notice what it says. Reverence Christ as God in your hearts. Let your will, your emotion, your word, your action, everything about you speak this glorious being called God in the midst of pain, in the midst of hurt, in the midst of the wound, in the midst of that disturbance. Because it does say he is your good and great shepherd. So he will not fail you. He will not forsake you. Does that reality dawn upon me when the experience of suffering comes my way? And look at the final thought. It's all meant to bring about redemption. For Christ suffered to take us away from ourselves and to bring us to God. So suffering has about it a sanctuary, helping me find a sanctuary, a home in God. Think about Jesus on the night of his crucifixion. He says to his friends, his followers, you will all forsake me and flee, but my Father. Have I come to that experience? Discard me if you will. Disown me if you will. And yet, if God be on my side, then I have found a safe sanctuary. But notice also the sanctity, because it says, if suffering comes your way, it is saying, realize that wrongdoing is punishable, and you don't want to go that way. You want good doing, which is purifying. It points to the fact that you honor God, so you hate what is evil, and you love what is good. It has therefore a sanctifying effect about it. A desire to be adorned in the nature of God. Not only to accept it and appreciate it, but to apply it in our lives. So that now there will be a separatedness in the way we live our lives. Always wanting not me to be seen as me, but God to be seen through me. Sanctify Christ as well. Even as Christ suffered to take away what is evil and bring us to God. Do I say, God, how may I use this pain to show people that it has come my way, that through it I may prove that I don't love you for the blessings you give me. I love you for the being you are to me, God. That you have allowed this to come to me, that I may now tag on to you with the words of Jacob and say, I'll not let you go until you bless me. That with Paul I might say, your grace is sufficient for me, for your power is made perfect in weakness. With the many trains and cattle of crowds of believers, I would say, he makes me strong out of weakness. That you may be seen to be the one who dominates and guides and directs and just shapes my life. All of us get beaten by pain, migraines, stomach aches, heartaches, emotional crackdowns, spirit dampening, and so on. Only God is above that. And have I come to that God? And is he able to lift me up to the point where he can say, I am holding you up. That's the successful side of suffering. When I don't suffer it alone, but I look at the form of God and I'm strengthened by it. Am I there? Hallelujah. Let's pray. Thank you, Father.